Maybe you can help us with the conversation we were having here. Do you like fry sauce?
Fry sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Thank you.
Wait, like, sorry, like just normal fry sauce, or what are we talking about here?
When you think of fry sauce, what do you think of?
I think of like Chick-fil-A sauce. I don't know. It's good fry sauce.
We gotta get some fry sauce for Logan. Anyway, how would you assess your season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a pretty good year. I took a lot of steps, and not only offensively but defensively too. That's something that I want to continue to get better at. But as a group, I mean, our plan was to get to play meaningful games, and obviously we'd like to be gearing up for the playoffs right now. But I think it sets us up for next year.
What will it be like to have a summer where you know where you're going to be, where the team's going to be, just have that stability after coming into the league and having so much up in the air for you?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I think, it allows you to just focus on what you need to do to get better, and, all the outside stuff of, listening to finding a place to live and little things like that. So it's going to be nice to just know you're going to be here, and the excitement of, the fans here. It's going to make you hungry to, get back here and start up for next season.
You figured out the roommate situation with Doan and Kessler, and he said you don't pick up the phone in the summer.
I don't know. I think they make up stuff, but no. I mean, they're obviously two great guys, and something that we're definitely gonna think about. And but yeah, we enjoyed each other this year, and hopefully we could get more of that next year.
I feel like Utah transformed into a hockey state, or Salt Lake into a hockey town after everything that you guys experienced this season.
For sure. I mean, I think right when we got here in the summer of last year, just the whole ceremony of welcoming us, and the whole place is sold out, and you could feel the excitement right away. And the first game was just unbelievable. Such a great experience this year, and very thankful to be a part of this.
Are you a big goal setter? Do you set goals before the season individually?
No, actually not. I don't. I think that could kind of mess with your head a little bit. Obviously, you have some things in mind where you want to get better than last year and put up more than last year. But for me, it's just about improving and finding ways to become the player I want to be in this league.
Is there something specific that you're working on this summer?
I mean, I think it's kind of cliche, but just for me, it's always been my shot, finding ways to, get better at that. And face-offs are super important, being a center, and I want to keep building on that too.
You guys took some steps this year with your playoff push. Do you think, or what are the steps you think this team needs to take to get to that next level, being a consistent playoff contender?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's when we're on, we're, one of the top teams in the league, and when we're not, it's pretty ugly. So I think finding consistency and finding ways to make sure we have it every night of, finding ways to play the right way, and, can't let games slip. Obviously, it's a long year. There's going to be some adversity throughout the year, but for us, it's just about finding the, most consistency we can.
How good do you think you can be?
I don't know. That's a tough question. But, I know what, I could get to. I know the player I want to be, but, I guess when my career is done, we'll find out.
What are your thoughts about contract extension? Have you kind of started those conversations just looking into the future here?
I mean, for us, it was just about, with me and my agent, just playing, not thinking about it too much throughout the year. I'm sure there's going to be some talks coming up here soon, but, yeah, I mean, this is kind of the only time I've really thought about it now. It's, it's always in the back of your head, but you just try to focus on, the season and, trying to play your game. But now that the season's done, you can kind of reflect on it, and I'm sure, like I said, it'll start to gear up here soon.
Have you talked with the Team USA guys yet about the World Championships?
I mean, yeah, there's been some talks. Still on the fence for right now, still deciding, and tomorrow kind of reflect on everything and make my decision then.
You've been pretty outspoken about wanting to bring a Stanley Cup to Utah. Is that kind of the goal of everybody here, and how do you feel like you guys can really accomplish that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's what you play for. That's what you train for in the summer. You play to be in these big moments, and for us, it's having guys like Cooley, Sergei, guys that have won. It's it's something that everyone wants to do and accomplish, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of sacrifice. it's a long year. There's battles, but for us, it's we want to bring a Stanley Cup here, and that'll be pretty special one day.
From being a kid just wanting to be in the NHL to now having the opportunity to be locked up for a pretty long time, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I think there's still a lot of work to be done, and my career is obviously just getting started. But it's cool to reflect on some things. It was last year you're in college, and the next thing you're playing against Crosby, and so it's obviously it's a dream come true. It's something that I love to do and want to do for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool here, and it would be a spot that I want to be for a while.
Looking at the growth you made this year, what are you most proud of?
I think just overall my complete game. I think offensively, I showed strides of being dominant, and defensively, I took a lot of pride in being good with my stick and being on the right side of the puck, little things like that make teams successful and make players successful. So for me, that's when I want to continue to keep adding to my game and keep working at it.
Is there something you want to be known as a player?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously offensively, I want to be one of the top guys in the league, and for me, I think keep saying it, but being a two-way player is so important in this league. And you look at teams that have won, and obviously when Eichel, when Vegas won, just how good defensively he was too. It allows teams to win every game. So I think for all of us, we take a lot of pride in playing defense, and that's going to translate to offense too.
You said you'd like to be here for a while. As far as this place as a destination throughout the league, what do you hear from other players and or agents or anything like that about what Utah has done this year, and is this a potential destination?
Yeah, I mean, I think just from seeing on the internet, when guys ask other teams or other players questions, like you hear a lot talk about like the ownership and what they're willing to do to give us a chance to succeed here. So I think just starting from the ownership and what they have done in such a short time, it's super special to be a part of, and I think that allows players and wants players to play here and play for this ownership.
Only last game you were leading the league in terms of players with points under the age of 20 up there with Celebrini and Bedard. What's it like to have kind of inserted yourself as one of the top young players in this league?
Yeah, it's cool. I always want to try to be the best each and every year, and but yeah, I mean, obviously those are extremely talented young guys and guys that are going to be around in this league for a while, so it's cool to battle against them, and obviously you're keeping tabs on them, seeing how they're doing, and but yeah, it's fun competing against other young guys and guys that you're going to be going up for hopefully the next 12, 15 years.
How has Tourney's coaching style helped you develop as a player?
Yeah, it's been huge. I think coming in from college, it's mostly just offensive minded. You don't think too much about defense, and big thing for me is you can't take a back check off or a shift off. You let a guy slip, it's probably gonna end up in the back of your net. So I think he's done a great job of helping me find a balance between offense and defense, and really trying to get me to be a complete player, and that's something that really helped me get into my head and something that I want to accomplish now.
What surprised you most about Utah coming here, and what have your neighbors been like?
The neighbors have been great, but I think just honestly, I thought it was gonna snow a lot more here, so it was nice to kind of have a wild winter. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's obviously a great experience, great first year, and excited to get back going here.
Do you have a preference on what the team name will be next year?
No, not really. I mean, they all sound great. Honestly, I like the Utah Hockey Club too, but I'm sure it's gonna be great. It's gonna go good, and I'm sure the fans will love it.
What are your off-season plans?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna do with Worlds coming up, and but I'll be back home in Pittsburgh, and got a good group there of guys that are in the league now, and it's always fun to get back there, see some buddies, and get back training.
Thanks, Coles.
Thank you.